Culture heads, welcome to another exciting edition. We're here, Culture in Thailand, currently in Bangkok. I guess we're officially at Anthem Culture headquarters, Bangkok edition, ACHQ. So we've been here doing a lot of work, exploring the city, you know, getting to learn the culture, the music, art, food, fashion, film, literature, got a taste of it all. Currently been here for just over close to a month, I guess you could call it, but you know, it's an amazing city, Bangkok, so definitely did a lot of networking out this way, just spreading the message of appreciating culture, you know, just learning about who they are, as much as talking to a lot of people about what I do, my culture and stuff like that. So it's really great exchange. So if you get the chance, come out to Bangkok, Thailand, explore the city a little bit, even venture around the island. But I spent most of my time in Bangkok really just because it was like a cultural hub. So I'll show you guys pretty much everything about the trip from the start, from the culture shock, from the 12-hour flight getting over this way, all the way until the street food, to just having fun experience in the nightlife. So you'll get a taste of all of that and more in this exciting episode. So without further ado, here's Culture in Thailand.
For real, get to town for real, then out of town for real, I'll be back in the little, make it count for real, for real, my style for real, all the time for real, all the time for the real, no time for real, on the grind for real, all the time for real, lifestyle for real.
Talk about culture shock literally right out the gate. Talking about the gate from the airport, like, we flew over, and it was an airline based out of China, I believe. So we actually had a layover in Beijing. So as soon as I got on the plane, I'm like the only American that I see. So nobody around me is speaking English, and even like it was a 12-13 hour flight. So you know, they served meals on it, and the whole menu was in Chinese. So I actually had to tap. Luckily, the lady sitting next to me, she spoke English. So I was like, hey, like, what do you recommend? And then they just kept bringing out food. It was a pretty cool flight. And by the time we got to Beijing, our flight was actually delayed. So they literally held the plane coming to Bangkok for us. So me and a couple other guys are literally running through the airport in Beijing, literally tossing our bags through immigration, customs. We're just like, yo, we gotta catch this flight. So we run up to the terminal. They was like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. So luckily we made it though, and that was pretty cool. So I was in China for about 10 minutes, but the flight from China to Bangkok was maybe about 4 or 5 hours. So they served even more food, which was actually pretty good. I don't know why, but airplane food, maybe I was just hungry or something, but airplane food was pretty decent. We finally land, and the immigration line was insane. Like, there was so many people, and it was nighttime. It was maybe like after midnight by the time we actually landed, but apparently that's when a lot of international flights come into the airport. So it was literally tours of like 50 to 100 people. You see students and tour guides. They had the little flags waving saying, come this way for immigration. So the foreigners line was unbelievable. It maybe took about like an hour to get through it, but luckily I was with the guy. He actually been through there a couple times, so he actually told me like, hey, it's actually another one. So we went there, and it was still long, but it was definitely shorter than the main one that everybody went to. So chopped it up with him pretty much the whole line, got cool with him, and actually he put me into contact with a lot of people in the city. So as soon as I touched down, I had a friend pretty much. I had a reference point. He was from America, so that was pretty cool. So we get to the immigration, and they didn't really ask me too many questions. They didn't really do anything too much. They just said, oh, how long are you staying? Where are you from? The simple stuff like that. And as soon as I got that passport stamp, I was geeked, smiling, and went right through. So welcome to Bangkok.
Said she only seen it in the movies, a scene straight out the movies. I feel like you in the movies. All these cameras on me, I feel like I'm in a movie. I'm out here by tomorrow, she's just happy that she knew me.
So really didn't take too much trouble adjusting to the time difference, even though we were 12 hours difference from home. So I got moving like right away, And the best thing I could figure to start exploring first was just to walk around. I found like a local mall, and it turns out this mall is huge. I'm insane. Like they had every kind of store that you could imagine at this mall.
Grinding till the sun up, start your day off like that. If it's popping in your city, best believe I'll fly back. All designer, all I rock, I'ma need a supply of that. Anthem Culture, making moves everywhere the world's eyes at. Cause it's been a long time, I don't even know the time, but I put in that overtime, best believe I'll hold it.
To all of the stores you see in America, and even like little boutiques scattered around the entire mall. And each mall that they had, it was literally like 3 malls in a row. Each one is about 6-7 floors, and it was pretty much like a hangout. And just being out in Bangkok, you start to realize that malls were like a really big gathering place for people. Since somebody told me, since it's so hot outside out here, people just hang out in the malls. They have food courts, supermarkets, all of that good stuff. So for foreigners, best believe the nightlife is A1 out in Bangkok. They have clubs, bars, and pretty much every place that you go into, they have all different types of music, speaking English. So you can interact with a lot of people, and you even see like a lot of foreigners just out hanging out in various places just scattered around. I mean, there's so many places to name. One of the most popular places I was at was around Sukhumvit, was pretty much like a lot of malls around here, but also a lot of bars, clubs, so I got to hang out a little bit, link up with a lot of people that I met up. I actually found like a couple hip-hop clubs, so got invited to do some things with them. Shout out to everybody down at Live Lounge, pretty dope spot out in Bangkok. But then also got to network with a lot of DJs, the managers out that way, and even just bounce around to a lot of the clubs, experience the nightlife. So it's really cool. Like they really party crazy here in Bangkok. I think one night I was out until maybe like 6, 7, and that's pretty normal if you really want to experience it. So, you know, the first weekend out in Bangkok, I was like, hey, why not? I may as well take advantage while I'm out here, see some new things, meet some new people. So it's a great way to meet people. Bangkok, I'm still trying to figure out like the size of the city, you know, because I know a couple people out here now. Whenever they give me a location of where to meet, I really don't know how long to tell them it's going to take me to get there, but you pretty much have so many different options for getting around Bangkok. I mean, one of the most popular methods of transportation is of course taxis, so I've taken so many taxis, and it's really efficient. They don't really speak English from what I've known, but if you just say like what station you're going near or just the area, they'll figure it out. So I've taken cabs. You also have tuk-tuk drivers, which is a pretty cool way to get around. It's like a 3-wheel motorbike, kind of sort of, with the little like carriage area in the back that you sit in, and then they ride you. So you see a lot of those just in the city going around. And motorbikes, you see a lot of so many motorbikes, actually more motorbikes than cars in some places. So that's a really popular mode of transportation. And even just the subways is really efficient, really clean, everything. And it's real simple, really, just to, once you learn the ropes of how it works, you know where you're going, you can just look at the map, and then you're able to just point at something and say like, okay, I want to go here. And you can figure it out. It's pretty cool. So that's why I was all over the city all the time. I could pretty much just give me a location, I'll pull up. Bangkok has an amazing art scene. Actually, since I've been out here for pretty much like a month just exploring the culture, I got to experience a lot of artwork. Like I went to a couple galleries. One of them was the BACC.
Trips around the world if you wanna see me. Grinding all day and night, I just hope you believe me. Only one call away if you ever need me. Waking up a new day and it's a different season. A different day, a different season. Season, different day, a different season. Season, a different day, a different season. Season, different day, a different season. Season, they talk about me like
so many floors, and even the exhibits that they had. And one thing I noticed was one of the exhibits that actually was photography and artwork from the United States, and just showcasing a lot of our landmarks, iconic places like cities.
Trips around the world if you wanna see me. Grinding all day and night, I just hope you believe me. Only one call away if you ever need me. Waking up a new day and it's a different season. A different day, a different season. Season, different day, a different season. Season, a different day, a different season. Season, different day, a different season. Season. on the prowl. If you wanna save all day and night, I just hope you believe. Call and play if you ever need. Waking up a new day and it's a different season, a different day, a different season. Make it a different season, a different day, a different season, different day, a different season. Yeah.
It's cool just to see like another person's viewpoint of your hometown, because a lot of the stuff you might overlook, but once you step out the country, people show like a different appreciation of different things we might take for granted. So that was really cool. A lot of cool places I was looking at, I was like, wow, this is home. So now I want to get back to America just to explore that a little more, but you always learn a little bit more about where you're from, even whenever you go someplace else. So typically when me and like my family are talking about Thai food, back in America, it's either like for lunch or dinner, and it's like a big deal. Like, oh my gosh, we're about to have Thai food. But as soon as I got out to Thailand, Thai food is everywhere. Like that's the norm. So it kind of had me tripping out. But the food is so amazing. I've had everything. I mean, so many different rice dishes, noodle dishes, fried pork, chicken, duck, you name it. And a lot of times I couldn't even tell you like what I was eating. It was just a lot of times, even especially like on the street, they would have like all of the dishes laid out, and I would just point like, hey, I want that, and they'll be like, okay, cool, and then tell you how much it costs from that. But a lot of it was amazing. I can't think of like having a bad dish out here, and even just off of the street, everything was like clean from what I could tell. But it tastes good, so that's the big thing, right? And it's a lot of food too. I'm talking like the simplest meal would be like a whole meal though, like all of the requirements to be like an official like 5-star meal. It was like really just straight off the street. So I'm looking at the meals like, wow, really all of this? And I was like, yeah, that's regular for us. So, but I mean, even just off of the streets, all of the shopping malls is pretty cool. They have food courts there, and how the food courts work, it's really like you pay your money and they give you like a card to use around the entire food court, so you could just walk into wherever, they'll swipe your card, and then whatever you don't get, they'll reimburse you your money back. So it was like a really simple way, and it just brought together like a lot of different type of foods, from chicken dishes to noodle dishes to vegetarian dishes to even like desserts and stuff like that, all in one location. So a lot of people go there usually after work or during lunchtime, since everything is right there together. So that was night markets, unbelievable, so much food, so many different vendors. You have music, drinks, all of that going around, and the night markets are like really popular hangout spots. So I'm talking like it's packed, like you have different rows of just like so many different, like such a variety of things you could try out. Everything is like really cheap as far as the food, so you can really just like sample around the whole place, and it's open all night. You hear music blasting everywhere. So Bangkok is unique in the sense that you could get a taste of all types of architecture, both modern and traditional. Even just looking around the city, like a brief scan of like the entire skyline, everything looks modern really, but you really see a lot of traditional Asian architecture that you would normally think about when it comes to like government buildings and education buildings, and those types. You see all of the like crazy colors, and I even got to go around to a lot of different places like the Grand Palace, which had amazing architecture, but I couldn't get in there because of my clothes. They said not too flashy in there, so they turned me away. I sort of got through a couple people, but I still got a couple shots like close by there. But then even just walking around to a bunch of the universities, you really see like a lot of traditional architecture with those. But everything else, you really wouldn't be able to tell that you're in a city in Asia just like looking at a picture of it like that. So, but it's pretty cool. I really like the vibe of the city. It's not really like one central area with a lot of high rises, but they're really like scattered around the entire place. So just a quick walk through, you would see a lot of like neighborhood type mixed with high rises, mixed with neighborhood, mixed with high rises, and it just goes like that around the entire city. So one of the cool things is, while I've been here in Bangkok, they actually had the World Film Festival for 2017 where they showed movies from all around the world. So, you know, being out in Thailand, I felt it was only right that I go see a Thai movie, you know. So I checked out this movie called Railway Sleepers, and it's a weird like documentary type movie. But if you're interested in Thailand and want to learn a little bit about the history as far as like the railroads and even like how it affected movement around the country, that's definitely one you should check out. It was actually packed. When I got there a little late, I got lost trying to figure out how to navigate. It was in one of the malls there called Central World. So I get there, I'm walking around the entire mall trying to find where's the theater. So I go up to the top floor where they're typically at, but it was so many like different levels. I wasn't sure if I was at the top or not. Walk a little further, you get to the top, and so by the time I got there, I realized that you have to pick your seat where you want to sit. So he showed me the chart, and literally every row was filled, only except the first row. So I sat all the way up there, so you know my head's up the entire time trying to watch it. But I got to like sample the popcorn. I'm a big popcorn fan, so it was pretty cool just to see the different type of flavors. And corn cheese, I believe it's called, is one of the popular, but they also have salt, barbecue, caramel, and no like specific butter, which was different for me. I'm used to that. So here in Bangkok, the fashion, especially like when you're in the city, is real modern. Pretty much everything you see just in the Western world, Eastern world, it's all pretty much the same. And even as far as like the brands that they wear, so you see a lot of designer labels, and even just in all of the malls, you see a lot of similar things as far as like the type of clothes. But one of the interesting facts is the time that I'm here is actually the recent passing of their king, who was highly recognized and respected. So pretty much for like an entire year, everybody here wore black, strictly black. So hence the black shirt now out of respect. But so yeah, and even just now it's towards the end of that year period, but you still see so many people just wearing black all of the time. And even in a lot of stores, you see so much like black wardrobes, and a lot of times you see just like black and white clothing. So that was interesting. And even just like vendors on the street is strictly black shirts, where there's t-shirts and things of that nature. But just walking around the streets, you could easily tell like all of the students, because students are all required to wear uniforms throughout all of their schooling. So that was one interesting characteristic. But then you see a lot of people in like suits, but then also like work uniforms and stuff. So you could sort of tell like people's occupations and their age just based off of what they're wearing. So from the very first moment of being here in Bangkok, you know, I've been getting so much love, so much respect, and just even just walking around in the streets, being in the subway, being in the stores, talking to people, you know, they say like, hey, like, who are you? I mean, I walk through, I look different than everybody, and even just the stuff that I wear, I guess, people always want to like come up, take a picture, take a selfie. So I ended up on a couple people's Snapchats, Instagrams, stuff like that, Facebooks probably. So that's pretty cool though. I mean, shout out to everybody that came up and talked to me. So, you know, I talked a lot about just why I'm here in Bangkok, Thailand, doing filming, working with Anthem Culture, just exploring the culture from like the music, art, food, fashion. So they really liked the fact that I was there just pretty much to learn about who they are, as much as just to share my gift as well with the world. So that was pretty cool. So I handed out a lot of business cards, connected with a lot of people. So, you know, shout out to all the culture heads, even our culture head bands, a couple people rocking these. The culture stickers are out in Thailand, so if you see one, make sure you like take a picture and send it in to me. I definitely want to check that out. But yeah, they just show like so much love out here. Some really nice people out in Thailand, so shout out to all the culture heads. So as I mentioned, on a flight coming here, I met this really cool guy. Shout out to my homie Josh, and he really plugged me into like the music scene, the hip hop scene out in Bangkok from like the get-go. So we chopped it up the entire flight. So as soon as I got here, I maintained in contact with them, and he invited me out to this one venue called Live Lounge, where I got to meet the entire staff down there, all of the DJs, and I came to like a little listening session, jam session, and they were like, hey, you're a musician, we have this little thing going. They actually just got started, so they're like, hey, let's check out some of your music. So I went up on stage, Got to do a couple bars for him, a couple of lyrics, and even played them some of my music. So that was really cool. Everybody was really feeling it. So that was great to get that sort of reaction. So I went to a couple of their events over the time of being out here. So everybody's down there cool. So shout out to all the DJs down there. Really cool people. So I'm sure we got some things in the works in the future. So stay tuned. So after close to a month of being out in Thailand, out in Bangkok, really just not knowing anybody, coming out here to experience the culture, I learned a lot. I mean, even just learning about myself, you know, I developed so much. But one of the top takeaways is definitely the language. It's funny actually walking into the store, you know, anywhere you go, you have to learn the basics of hello and thank you at the bare minimum. So I walk into the store and I walk up to the counter and I'm like, "Sawadee krap," which is hello in Thai. And they look at me and they're like, "Wow, you know Thai," which is pretty funny. And even just saying thank you, kap kong krap. And they're like, "Oh my gosh, like you speak Thai." So then they start speaking. But I'm like, no, that's all I know. So I definitely want to learn a little bit more about that. But the language, believe it or not, it's actually so much English out this way, from like the signs, even in restaurants, like the menus have like the Thai language and the English language. And a lot of young people actually speak English, and a lot of people go to English schools and stuff like that. So you really don't have to know Thai to like navigate around Thailand, but it's just that much more impressive when you do know a little bit of Thai, even if it's just 2 words, hello and thank you. So anywhere you go, make sure you learn those 2 if anything. Another takeaway that I got is, of course, the currency. You know, everywhere you go, you're spending the baht, they call it. And it's really cool currency as far as like being super colorful. And they have, I think the coins go up to like 10 baht, but then the bills start at 20 baht, 50, 100, 1,000, and it's different sizes too for the money, I believe, but all of the money actually have their king on it, so that's pretty cool. But I really like the currency, you know, you really get in a mindset of spending baht instead of trying to convert everything to dollars. So that's one thing you should do, because I mean, it's definitely a big difference as far as like how much the baht is worth compared to $1 or the euro. So once you really like set your mindset in baht, then it's like, okay, cool, like now I know how to navigate how much I'm spending and stuff like that. So but just the currency overall, like it looks cool. You're gonna have a lot of coins walking around, so make sure you like able to like look at the denomination on those as well. But it's pretty easy to pick up, but I'm a big fan of the baht, so I'm trying to collect that a little bit more. Maybe one of the most shocking things of being out in Bangkok even is just how many foreigners you see. I mean, it's really like a melting pot. I mean, of course you see like most Thai people, but just walking around, if somebody hears you speaking English, they'll of course come up to you and say like, "Hey, where are you from?" Things like that. So I've had so many like random conversations just off of the street like that. But it's people from all over the world, and people come here because they really like Thailand, they really like the culture, they like pretty much everything about Bangkok. So I know a lot of people that come here for vacation and then end up staying just because they fell in love with it. So that's pretty cool. So I mean, even myself, I'll definitely be back a lot just to continue to grow, build my network, and even just all the friends that I made out this way. So it's really cool, it's real friendly. So maybe that's why a lot of foreigners come out. But I don't really hear too many people talk about like, "Hey, I'm going to Thailand." But once you get out here, you start to realize like how great it is, and how popular a destination it is. So even just walking around, you'll see a lot of foreigners, from tourists and people just living here. So that's pretty cool. So you'll always feel some sort of welcome, no matter what part of the city you're in. So the journey continues, exploring culture all around the world from all different aspects of it, really just to experience new things, get new perspective on life, new outlook, and even just to network, connect with so many people like all over the world, just to showcase an appreciation of culture. So make sure you continue to check out anthemculture.com for all news, information, updates about culture from all around the world, from music news, film news, art news, literature news, econ news, whatever you want to know about anywhere in the world, you could probably find it on anthemculture.com, and even just like an information base. So while I've been here in Bangkok, we've been doing a lot of development with anthemculture.com/Thailand. So make sure you check that out. And if the culture heads around the world, if you're watching, make sure you hit me up. Any of the platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and anything new to come out, probably find Anthem Culture on it, and just send me a text and be like, hey, what's up? We need some merchandise, we need some stickers, we need culture headbands, and really just to help spread the movement. So appreciate all of the support so far, and continuing to build the movement, build the website, and just to spread culture around the world, and just to learn about different things. So if any destination you want me to venture out to, or you want to see Anthem Culture pull up to, just let me know. Any kind of events, fashion shows, film festivals, you know, just exploring the world, experiencing all of these different things in different locations, just to get a different perspective on it all. So just continue to reach out. Shout out to all the culture heads. Appreciate culture.
Culture rush, you know she said we on a rise. Everything designer, Cardi's on my eyes. I'm in town just for a second, then I'm in the skies. That mean I hit the scene and wild out, is you down to ride? Said she only seen it in the movies. A scene straight out the movies. I feel like you in the movies. All these cameras on me, I feel like I'm in a movie.